Taking a video for Dan. Francie, Jesus, Mary, Joseph. Sputtering.
Hey, it's back, baby.
So hello everybody, welcome to Was This Helpful? We need to go around and introduce ourselves because that's what you do at the start of a podcast. That is simply what you do.
It's
and I elect Dan to start.
Oh, hello. My name's Daniel Pasco. I'm related to these two. I animate. I'm an animator, and I live in California. Begrudgingly.
It's true.
I live in Los Angeles, but with gritted teeth.
It's true. It was like not your third choice or fourth choice. It was last choice.
Yeah, no, I never wanted it, but if you want to animate, if you want to fucking make stop motion animation, you have.
And if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you want to animate.
Exactly. There's only a couple places you get to do it.
My name is Francie Davies. Dan is my cousin. Eli is my brother. I work at a coffee shop, but I am a musician and a writer, and I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah. That feels
perfect. So now I'm going to introduce those two because they did a really self-deprecating job introducing themselves. And so I'm going to go again. So Dan is the funniest of us three by a small margin over Francie. He is.
Francie is very funny. Francie's very funny.
Far and away the most successful content creator. It's really not close. So Dan is not famous on TikTok, but Dan has a reasonable presence on TikTok. He has enough of a TikTok where the TikTok ban was slightly worrying to him.
Yeah.
From a financial standpoint, okay? Yeah. So funniest, best content creator. Francie is the most socially intelligent of us. She's pretty fun. She's funnier than me, and probably our coolest member.
Yeah,
I would say.
Probably. I think that's undeniable. Far and away by 40% at least.
I always say Eli knows a little bit about everything and a lot about most things.
Yeah. The problem with the universe is it's like really hard to know everything.
There's so much shit.
God, how I've tried.
There's so much shit, dude. You're never gonna get all that stuff.
I'm so screwed.
It's impossible.
I'm cooked.
If that's your mission, you're cooked.
What have you guys been up to today?
Well, today's interesting. I had a pretty big day yesterday. Did a lot of like odds and ends and type stuff. I cleared some hard drive space actually, which is good. I was out kind of late-ish, and I decided to not take my pill today because I am supposed to not take my pill every like a couple times a month. I'm supposed to take a day off.
Okay, so it was a no pill day.
Yeah. But I'm still here. I'm still gonna bring the heat as much as I can.
Yeah. No, I hear that cataclysmically because I was up until 1:30 last night, literally trying to fix frozen plumbing.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you,
were you heating it up?
Well, so there was some of that for sure. So the thing about frozen plumbing is you have to diagnose where it's fucking frozen, and sometimes it's frozen in multiple places. And as I was doing it, you guys, it was getting colder.
Oh yeah.
I started, it was 0 degrees outside. I stopped, it was -7.
Oh, dude, that's brutal.
Like
and so I was in
battle.
full snow kit. because the house up the hill where our water comes from is not heated.
Yeah.
So the pipe runs are heated, but the house is not heated. So I was like trying to give a present of working plumbing to Eli this morning. I completely failed. I just made sure that the pipes up the hill didn't freeze. And then this morning I wake up, I start to deal with this. It turns out we have 2 pipe bursts down here.
Oh no.
It's like two broken pipes. And I think that I fixed it. I think it's still frozen, so we'll see if it leaks. But if I fixed it, I completed it 3 minutes before we were supposed to start.
Wow.
Today.
Well, it's good. It's
because I also went and had brunch with a friend. Are you guys proud of me? I actually went and had brunch with a friend.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
Which friend? Do I know him?
Yeah. You don't know her. She's a teacher at an elementary school that I worked at last year.
That's sick. You
That's
had
great.
coffee?
Yeah.
We were going to get coffee and walk, but then it was -2 in Belfast. So
you're not. So you ain't going anywhere. You're walking from your car to the building and back to your car.
So no, we went to a diner.
Did
Nice.
you go to the diner?
We went to the diner.
Hey, I love the diner.
It's famously just okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
it's not great, but I love it.
It's not like
It used to be.
What,
weird.
Whoa,
what's the
diner
like?
food.
Tell me all about the diner. I don't know if I've been there.
so it's in Belfast, Maine.
It's in Belfast. I've been to Belfast.
And it's called Tracy's. It used to be called between one or two other things, but it's now it's exactly the same. Dudley's it was once.
No, it wasn't. They painted the walls. It was not exactly the same.
No, the food and the experience.
Yeah.
They did paint the walls. You are not
They
wrong.
put like
but
weird murals on the walls, like you're trying to be Alexia's Pizza.
They put weird
love
murals on the
Lexi's
walls.
Pizza.
Lore.
Yeah, like
That's
you're
the
trying to be
best-
Alexia's.
that's the best
That's
food in
very true.
Belfast.
So guys, Alexia's
That's
Pizza.
not true. There's this Italian.
I was about to
place.
say Alexia's Pizza if you don't know, which is a crazy assumption, but Alexia's Pizza is a wildly mediocre pizza place with
They have
the best
they have
location.
great paintings on the wall.
It's the place.
They
where
have
dreams
a
come
really,
true.
really spectacularly terrible painting on the
No,
wall.
it's beautiful.
It's so
It's
good.
these like Greek
It is-
guys.
It is
One of us
9-point
went to art
perspective.
school and he says it's good.
Yeah, I went to art school. All right.
One of us went to art school, but he's also stupid as hell.
That's true.
That painting is so bad.
I have weird taste.
So
like you'll show me a painting that's like really good, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of boring.
Meh.
Then you show me a
No, that's
painting
based.
that you'll show me a painting that's like kind of bad, and I'll be like, look at that, that's so interesting.
Nah, that's
Wow.
based for sure.
That's just I
Most
have
of the
weird
time, I
taste.
am right there with that.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing that I hate, it's like the good versus bad art debate. It's so bad. I
No,
hate
really,
it.
like good is too broad a term and bad is too broad a term. You have to use terms like effective or like interesting or fun.
Yeah.
And I'd say
Yeah.
I'd say the painting is effective at being interesting and fun. It's not truly
Mm-hmm.
effective at capturing natural light on a human face. Not really.
Yeah. No, it's quite
Or
quite weird.
the delicate form of the human body. It doesn't quite capture that.
So if you're just joining this conversation, we're describing the mural of a pizza place at the city that's nearest me that can call itself the city.
It
And
can't.
we've all
Oh,
been
absolutely.
in there.
It's got a traffic light.
It
It has, I think, 5.
Really?
Maybe? I think.
5?
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
count.
They've grown up in the world.
Damn, that's
2.
pretty good.
No, because there's more, France. There's more.
Oh, okay. Oh no, 3.
I
Wait,
get-
can
yeah,
we, can I put
4,
Can I? I'm
5.
having anxiety that my audio's fucked. Is there any way that I could like pause my?
This funny thing was happening or I was doing yesterday before the pipes froze when life was easy.
In the before time.
In the before times, I was making an intro, like a 4-second little intro thing where the logo sort of swings into screen and then we get a title and then it sort of fades and there's some nice fades. And I'm like, I just realized like I'm animating
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is stupid, but also Dan's got better animation to do, perhaps.
I mean, I'd be open to doing a logo for. Yeah, okay. On episode 5, if we do this 4 more times, I'll make an animation.
Incentive.
Actually, so free. Let's do it.
Yeah, like that. Like I'm not doing something. Like if we're gonna do this 3 times again in our lives, then I'm not gonna make an animation for it. But
Okay,
if we're
that's-
if we're gonna do this like every 2 weeks, then on the 5th time I'll make a logo animation.
So, guys listening, this was my idea, and it was slightly Francie's idea, but I think that I was sort of talking about it, and then at one point Francie was like, wait a second, I actually wouldn't hate this. And how long, because I don't remember, have I
was
been
like-
talking about doing this?
I think it was before.
Oh, forever.
Thanksgiving.
Forever. I think
It
it
was
was
a long time.
before Dan was big on TikTok.
Yes, that definitely. I mean, I don't know if I'm big on TikTok anymore. It's like I'll post something on TikTok and I'll get very few people to and very few people will actually look at it.
But
Yeah,
don't-
you're big
don't
on
you-
shorts.
Don't you have to
Yes.
be like posting really consistently on TikTok? just
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
like,
I
get the
had
numbers
I had
back
2
up?
months where I was like king shit. I had
Yeah.
I had 2 months where I was pulling millions of views.
So my point being that you'd think that because I wanted to do this before Dan was big on TikTok for a while, then that absolves me from being clout chasing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's totally not. It totally doesn't, because I always was well aware that Dan was going to become big online when he decided to.
Well,
So it was always clout chasing, and it is still. I want to make that very clear.
We were waiting for the bus, like, I don't know, the time that we went to the same elementary school. When we would wait for the bus.
Yeah.
We were like, we made but I don't think we understood how to make bets, because we both had the same bet. We didn't get it. But we were like, let's make a bet that Dan is going to be famous. $50. See, I don't know where we're getting the $50 from. I think maybe at this point Dan has to give us that.
I never shook.
Because we were making the same bet. But I remember this distinctly.
The $50 on episode 5 will be your commission for making the logo.
Yeah. Roger that.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, so 10, 15 years ago, Dan made a video about Hamlet that was Adobe
Macbeth.
Flash animation. Macbeth, excuse me. I've seen this video 25 times. I am a fair fraction of the views on this video.
Yeah, I'll still get comments on that sometimes. Chimp removal is the best thing I made at college.
Me and my best friend Connor, when we would be bickering for like a phase of life, when we would start bickering, we would watch that video.
Aw.
And like we would not bicker anymore.
No, it's fire, and it got a fair number of views, several tens of thousands of views, back 15 years ago, which is more of an achievement than it is now.
Yeah.
And so I always knew, because I had data.
It's got 22,000. The Macbeth video.
That's crazy. Because I remember thinking that it was so crazy when it had like 2,000 views. I was like, this is the sickest thing that's ever happened. When it was like at like 2,000, and now you're getting like 7 million views on Instagram. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask though, is this a content thing that you're doing like mostly to hang out with us, or is this going to be tied into the Just Dan OK cinematic universe, or like
this podcast?
Yeah.
I'll tell when you post it, I will make a thing.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I was on a podcast. Go check it out.
All right, cool.
I'll post that to my story and on my main feed.
First of all, I was on is crazy.
I was on.
What should I say?
It's your podcast. It's your podcast.
It's not my podcast. It's your podcast.
I'm doing the work.
It's our podcast.
I'm not. Yeah, fair.
It's our podcast. And
Soviet national
too.
anthem.
Communism.
All of us together.
It was such a nice day here, and then it turned so shitty.
I haven't even thought about outside.
Gray.
I haven't even thought about it.
Dude, yesterday in LA it was so hot. I was like biking to my friend's house wearing a hoodie. I had to take the hoodie off. It was too hot. I had to wear sunscreen. I wore fucking sunscreen yesterday. In January.
Yo.
February now. It's February 2nd. So February 1st, I wore fucking sunscreen.
It was so cold. It's been so cold.
It was
Do you guys want to guess? Do you guys want to guess when I got home last night? Because it's unprecedented.
3, 2,
4.
Whoa!
I walked into my door at 4 a.m.
I thought I was up late last night.
I was asleep by midnight last night.
Like a good little boy.
Like a good little man. I mean, I'm 30. If I stay up too late, I get a little fucked up. I'm all shitty the next day.
I am fucked up. I am shitty. I've just literally been in bed. But
I would argue that is the ideal state of mind to be in for a podcast.
Yeah, as I'm not gonna talk over anybody or like, no, it's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about. I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You want to be kind of like, because podcast. I was thinking about this is like. Just like so that someone can have like air that is more pleasant than silent air.
Yeah, it's like flavored air.
Yeah, it's flavored air, exactly. And I think that
the LaCroix of it's like LaCroix versus water.
Dude, the LaCroix of podcasts is a great self-deprecating tagline for this podcast.
It's not the LaCroix of podcasts. It's the LaCroix. It's like LaCroix versus silence.
The LaCroix of content.
Yeah.
Right. So regular content is Coca-Cola, podcasts are LaCroix, and then silence is water.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
Which currently I have none of.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The pipes are frozen.
Now that reminds me, I'm gonna drink some of my water.
It's not actually true that I have none. I have water.
I'm like drinking coffee. I'm like just drinking my coffee now.
Nice.
But
Water's also very good for you.
I don't have a chemical dependency on water.
It's true.
Yes,
well,
you
do.
You do. You totally do.
You absolutely do. Your body's your body is 70.
Quit.
Your body's 70% coffee.
Quit, motherfucker.
I can quit water anytime, man. I can quit it anytime. What if a bunch of like ammonia-based life forms are like, we're worried about your dependency on H2O.
It just feels
ammonia,
different.
Is that NH2?
What is ammonia, Eli?
I think it's NH2, but I'm checking.
New Hampshire.
It's NH3.
I was typing on my phone. I said like, meet me there at 4:00 or something, and I said meet me there at 4:00, and I sent that, and I was like, wait, why didn't it autocorrect that to a word? And then I was like, oh, NE, maybe that's a periodic table thing. And I looked it up and said, oh yeah, that's neon. Okay,
it's neon.
So it thinks I said like meet neon there at 4:00. When it's meet me there.
My phone doesn't really think about periodic table abbreviations. I don't think. Maybe my phone is dumber.
Well, that's okay.
I've decided I can't count because I was like, neon, that's okay. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. It's 10, but I counted 8 just now while you guys were talking. So I can't count.
Table memorized in multiple different in two
Language.
Yeah, multiple
orders.
ways. The fun way and the useful way.
Yeah.
I can get through, okay, antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, something, nickel, neodymium, neptunium, uranium, europium's. But the thing is, I don't know if I'm saying, it's like when I'm singing Bad Bunny lyrics. I don't know if I'm not saying words. I'm just saying syllables.
You know, I was like this. I was like you. Because I knew this song wrong for several years before I decided to learn it right.
Yeah.
And when I learned it right, I think it was when Dan and your family was up here for the summer, and I think I might have just done it to fuck with you. I don't think I did it on purpose to fuck with you, but I think you would have felt fucked with.
Yeah, I remember there was a bit where because I had a more pronounced speech impediment as a child. I still have one.
Yeah.
You could tell sometimes I'll repeat words and stuff. Or I'll get stuck up on vowels.
It's almost gone though. It's actually crazy.
But it was pretty pronounced when I was a little kid. And I remember you were out there and you were just like talking all really fast and shit. And I was like, I wish I could do that.
I could have known that because it would have been such a free thing for me to change, you know? Now
I look back on it and I'm like, that's pretty funny. You're just like, I'm going to talk really fast because he can't talk really fast.
Getting dunked on. I made fun of your stutter once. Do you remember the time?
No.
When I actively made fun of it?
No, I don't think I do.
I feel so bad, but I also don't because the reaction that it got from you was so like proportionate that I was just like, all right, I won't do that ever again.
Oh, was I fucking pissed at you?
You lost your shit.
I was really sensitive about that.
Yeah.
I was really sensitive about that.
You were just like, I stutter, okay?
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, never again.
That is what I would say to that.
So I'm on a journey of trying to memorize. I'm on a memorization journey. I'm trying to memorize.
Yeah, what are you trying to memorize?
All the countries in the world where they are.
Whoa, where they are? Damn.
Yeah,
where's Yemen?
Yemen is it's south of Saudi Arabia.
North of?
Is north. So there's two countries, Oman and Yemen. Yemen is on the east.
Wrong.
They're both like the same size, but Yemen is to the east.
Same size as Yemen or the same size as each other?
No, wait. I think Oman is I think Yemen might be on the west side. They're the same size as each other.
Oh, that's where Somalia is. All right. So Yemen's right above Somalia.
But I got bored, so I'm moving on to country capitals, which is...
Oh, sure.
much more difficult.
I've been not consciously, but like subconsciously trying to memorize flags.
Oh, flags. Oh, flags is hard. But flags is really helpful in GeoGuessr.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what it is like I play a lot of chess on chess.com, and on chess.com, if you're playing if you're playing with somebody from like Egypt, there'll be a little flag next to them. And so I'm always like, oh, Ireland. Is like, oh no, that's Scotland. Because you can go in and like click on the flag, and then it'll tell you what nation that is. I can always get the ones that play like a lot of chess, like India. Right. I always get it.
India. Actually, Ireland. It's funny that you say Ireland and India in the same story because their flags look almost the same.
Their flags are, India's got a little thing in the middle.
Yeah, which I think I should know this because you'll see, but I think that is a thing from Hinduism. I think that is a thing from like Vedic literature. But I don't, it's like not the spokes of yoga because there's too many of them. I don't know exactly what it is. So that was a story about how I don't know what that came from on the Indian flag. That was a cool story, huh?
Yeah, pretty great.
I liked it.
I mean, it's funny with flags. Like so many flags are just 3 stripes.
Yeah.
Like so many, like most flags are just 3 stripes.
There's
a word for that. It's called a tricolor.
A what?
Tricolor is what a 3-color flag is called.
Oh, Turkey is a flag that I recently memorized because I played against like 3 Turkish people the other day. I was like, oh, it's that same flag. Turkey's got a pretty good flag. I like that flag.
Well, just there's so many countries, and I feel like the formula for creating a flag is kind of like it needs to be so simple that like, there's not a lot of room to make a cool flag. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can try a little harder than 3 stripes, though.
The main flag is like objectively too complicated.
Yeah, that's a lot of states have that.
We voted we used our democracy to vote to change the flag recently.
Oh, did you?
No.
Oh, we didn't?
So the flag of Maine still sucks. It's the second most disappointing thing to happen last November. What happened was Maine had a really nice flag. If you're watching this in the video, it'll be on the screen right now. Then we switched to this shitty freaking flag that is what 99% Invisible calls a seal on background, SOB. We did this years and years ago.
Wait, so the flag that was really good was the tree?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good looking flag.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. You see it on like hats and shirts all over the place.
Yeah.
There's this
it's a good symbol.
We switched
like every day, and she has a Liberty Graphics hat. She comes in like every day to my coffee shop. Just a regular who comes in and gets a iced coffee with half and half.
That's cute.
She has the Liberty. I mean, people wear Liberty Graphics all the time.
Liberty Graphics is goddamn worldwide. That's crazy.
I clock them all. Like if you have even something that's like could be something from Maine, I'm like, tell me your whole life
Fritz,
story.
could you explain what Liberty Graphics is?
Liberty Graphics is a printing company in Liberty, Maine that has like sort of become iconic, and they make like nature themed shirts and shit, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're like
have a cult following.
Imagine a merch company that exists only on the strength of its merch and not following any particular creator.
Nice.
That's how good they are.
Yeah.
They create merch for nature.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. So seeing one
that's a big client.
Yes, seeing one in New York is crazy.
Oh, all the time. Well, one time someone came in, like this couple came in and they were wearing Liberty Graphics, and I was wearing my 4-H hoodie, and they were like,
we just lost all that.
I lost all that.
What?
But the podcast will hear it.
Podcast will hear it. Hope it was
I don't know how to fix it.
So why do you have to be on your computer? Where's your phone? Girly pop?
I can because I would
Because you don't have Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah. Because now I'm like, I don't know. It just makes the most sense in my head. Because my logic is breaking down very quickly. I was like, I have to be wearing the headphones that are in my computer so I can hear myself talking, but I can't hear myself talking anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because the volume would have to be up super high. So
You had a conclusion from a previous thought process still floating around?
I can probably switch the phone calls to my phone if it's a problem.
Can you do it, Apple, with your connected ecosystem? I love this setup that I have for getting the audio because I think better when I pace, and I can fucking pace. I've been pacing this whole time.
Really?
Bitching, dude.
Okay, so
I have not sat down.
Anyway, so I was telling a story, but
yes, Yes, let's hear it.
This couple came in to the bagel shop, and I was wearing a UMaine hoodie, and they were wearing Liberty Graphics. And so I was gabbing to them about it because I can't stop. Like one time I saw someone's Maine ID in their wallet, and I said, "Are you from Maine?" Which was like too far. But anyway.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, are you from Maine? Who cares?
But then it turns out that this couple worked at the summer camp that I worked at, and knew my boss very well and worked there for years. And
nice.
They just like stumbled into this bagel
Tanglewood?
store. Yeah.
Well, that is the thing, because Maine is like an old place. Like there's a lot of old people. So in terms of places that reach people like our age, I feel like Tanglewood is maybe one of the bigger ones.
It's niche. I mean, it's like if you're a certain type of person, you probably
But what
know
else
about it.
in Maine reaches people our age? I can't think of much.
I mean, I feel like Southern Maine is...
Colby Bates and Bowdoin.
Southern Maine is a different state almost. Like I feel like when I meet someone from Maine and they say they're from Southern Maine, I'm like, oh, I feel like we're from a different place. Like we don't have the same life experience.
Like what defines Southern Maine? Is that like the Portland area?
Yeah.
Defining a north-south is famously really hard. Like lots of places in the world have north-south divides.
Yeah.
And defining where that is famously like really, it's like a gradient.
Yeah.
Like,
so just like Southern Maine is like hipster Maine, and Northern Maine is like just like the woods.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like,
wealthier.
Or
Yeah. it's just wealthier.
Central Maine is like the woods. Northern Maine is just like the woods and no one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, okay, so imagine you take the north-south south axis and you swing it counterclockwise by like 30 degrees. That's actually how the income works because it goes from the coast, right? It's richer near the coast. And then so in Maine, like down east is not south, it's southeast because it's the way the rivers go.
And it's such a sharp drop off too. Like we live 25 minutes from the coast, and it's like
poor.
It's like more resembles a town in the deep south than the town 30 minutes away on the coast.
Way more resembles a town in the deep south, except it's worse. It's worse because it gets cold.
Yeah.
And I had an experience last winter which really told me how little I understand of what it's like to live in poverty in Maine, because I gave this dude a ride, like a 20-minute ride, because he was walking. It was a cold day. It was like a 0-degree day. And I gave this dude a ride home. Got to his house and he said, "You have to drop me off a little bit up the road because if the people," I think he said my sisters, which is interesting, "see a different car roll in, they might like shoot you."
Oh my God.
Which is crazy. And
my
so
God.
I know. So dutifully,
This is the reason why you don't just shoot things. It might be a guy giving your brother a ride.
I've been saying, I let him off and we get to this house. After I let him off, I drive by the house, but I'm just on the road. It's like a trailer. And I think like this guy's telling me a little bit about his life and how like, and I'm getting a sense of his like economic position, his family's economic position. How the fuck do they heat their house?
Yeah.
Right? And this sounds, I feel so dumb. And I know some of the answers, okay? There's LIHEAP, which is the Heating and Energy Assistance Program. And then there's also like community help with heating. And also they like might have jobs and they might be on disability, whatever it is. But trying to make that math work out in my head taught me how little I know.
Yeah.
You know?
About being like just genuinely fucking like nothing. Abject poverty.
Every time I give someone a ride, I learn so much.
You can always learn a lot by talking to other people
who are like random encounters. You know, they're like randoms.
They don't have to be anyone saying like, no, only take advice from people who are where you want to be in life. That type of thing bugs me so much. It's like you can learn so much from people.
Take advice from anyone who's going to give you advice.
Take advice from everyone.
And then whatever sticks, cool. Like this is like I was in a writing workshop one time. And well, I think a lot of writing teachers will say this is like, we're going to give you all these piles of critiques. Well, one person said, throw them away once you read them. And then you'll remember what sticks in your brain. And that'll be.
Oh, fired. I love that one. I might steal that.
So I don't know, like my friend is going through like a breakup right now and like she keeps getting like unsolicited advice. And sometimes we just know like, oh yeah, this person is not really clued in enough to like say anything worthwhile. But that doesn't mean don't listen to people.
You guys want to do the menu?
Sure.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay. So, appetizers. Your choices are fish, shellfish, wood, pepper spray, glass, or cell phones.
I mean, I do love pepper spray.
Yeah.
I think.
Francie, what do you
but
think?
I also love wood because wood is relevant right now. We were just talking about Maine.
That's true.
Like what kind of trees are in Maine? Near.
So Dan's gonna get the wood. Francie, what are you getting?
Oh no.
I'm gonna get the wood.
Like,
Give me the wood, Daddy.
Shut up.
Oh God. should I bleep that? Editing Eli, should you bleep that? Nah, we're
Nah.
good.
I'll
First
leave that in.
impulse was glass, but I've played Minecraft. I know how glass is made.
You want the choices again, France?
How do you make glass in Minecraft? I've never played
You
Minecraft.
put sand in a furnace. I don't know.
That's how you make glass.
I'm gonna go
Yep.
shellfish.
Ooh,
Okay.
based.
So, who wants to go first?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan, what do you know about wood? What is wood?
I know when the tree I know if you chop that tree down, you can count its rings. Mm-hmm. See how old it's. So does every tree get one ring every year?
Yeah. So here's an interesting question. Why?
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Well, they
Why
want
does
to
the
get
wood
thicker.
look different colors?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are
Why
the
can
rings
you see
different?
the rings?
Does
Yeah,
it have
how
to do
can
with
you see 'em?
the resources that they got that year?
Sort of. So actually, so it turns out that lots of things in nature we think are like just kind of cause that's what was happening while it was. If it's I'm talking about living things here. We think it's like, oh, just kind of cause it's like an accident of biology. What it turns out is that nature finds a way to make that useful. And it turns out that we get a composite material if we have the dark part of the growth ring, which is much denser, and the light part of the growth ring, which is more porous. Then we get this composite material that turns out to be stronger than if we just did one.
So so the tree does it on purpose.
It's a chicken and an egg thing, but because it's evolution, we're kind of just fine with the chicken and the egg thing. Like it turned out to be like this, but nature found a way to also make it useful, and then it was genetically reinforced. And the chicken and the egg is just like that's how evolution works. Mm-hmm. We're just going through this chicken and egg thing. Yeah, so wood is also a composite material on the microscopic scale. We've got it's mostly made of two different things: lignin, which is a crystal that has a glass transition temperature of about 170 Frankenstein, I think.
Is that a unit?
Fahrenheit. Oh, I say Frankenstein because AVE says Frankenstein. Comment below if you know who AVE is.
Sorry.
I thought that I was so lost. I was like, what the fuck is a Frankenstein? Wait, side note, my friend who's like no longer in a relationship, I was looking at all of her ex's books, and they're all political books written by men, and the one book written by a woman is Frankenstein.
It's a classic.
That's the one.
Yeah.
What is the most Francie? What is the most important?
That book is about a dude fucking up.
I mean,
true.
That book is about a dude who made a big mistake.
Another thing about Francie that I didn't say in my intro for her is she's probably the best read of all of us by a factor.
Oh, definitely.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Maybe 4.
I'm like the second to worst read person in my house. My roommates read a lot more than me, so
that's true.
It's all relative.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Francie, what is the most important book ever written by a woman?
Ooh.
In your humble opinion.
Jesus, important or most important to me?
You can give us a top 3 or something.
Yeah, you can give us a top 3, but I'm going to say like make a judgment on important.
Okay, well, I have not read a lot of classic books. Like a lot of the canon, I have not read. One of my favorite authors is Barbara Kingsolver. I've read a lot of hers. And The Lacuna has become one of my favorite books I've ever read in the past year. Like recently I was trying to make a list of the 100 greatest songs, and it very quickly became, oh, this is just my 100, because it's so objective.
Yeah, you really can't
so
be
much music I
precise.
haven't listened
to. Yeah.
But
And it's like you might
argue
not
that's
love
okay,
Bob
though.
Dylan, but other people fucking love Bob Dylan. Like,
But
it's unfair for you to make a fucking top 5 rappers, and then it's like, oh, what, you didn't put Biggie up there? It's like, oh, Biggie's my favorite rapper. Oh, then he's your favorite rapper.
Yeah. So like, there's so many classic books that I simply haven't read, that are probably very important to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I would only be able to list like my favorites.
Before we get Francie Shellfish, is there anything you want to know about wood, Dan?
Yeah. Okay. What's up with those white trees? Those birch trees? What's up with those? Why aren't they brown?
Yep. So
Why are they white?
I have 2 theories. One of them's gonna get a ding when I edit this. I'm pretty sure it's one of these 2. So I think, 3. So the first one is that I think that that coating is somewhat hydrophobic, which might help with preventing the growth of moss and lichen, which might be bad for the tree. Like, it might be an anti-parasite thing. Also might be an anti-parasite thing in other ways, because it's a powder. You can get it on your hands. It could be antifungal. It could also be anti-ultraviolet, which I'm not sure.
Interesting.
One of those theories is going to get a ding. Hopefully I got one of that right. But birch also is... The bark of birch is very balanced towards oil. It's like it's more oil than water, and that's why it burns very, very well. Mm-hmm. Also has a very high surface area to mass ratio, which is in general why things burn really well.
Yeah, I was the fire master for Sunday night campfires one summer, and
because I just did it recreationally. You did that shit professionally.
Yeah, no, it's all downhill from there. One day a week.
Yeah.
And I always built a fire that was like the fire was always too big. So I like would have to put out like this really nice fire.
That's what we call suffering from success.
But yeah, that was a
So did you do like the teepee method where you put the logs like pointed at each other in a big traffic cone?
I did like the lean-to, which is like, well, for me, I would get a big log, and then I'd put all the tinder in a pile, and then lean like kindling on that, and then just...
Or lean the big log on the kindling?
No, lean the kindling on the big log, so it creates like a lean-to, and then slowly start adding like, thicker wood, and it starts burning.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
not
cool.
the most efficient. It was not the most efficient.
Whatever. When you got a whole fucking forest and like no one's
It's
here
true.
trying to survive, like who gives a shit? It's just the easiest way of getting it going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
You're not
trying
gonna
to
run
be,
out.
oh no, we're gonna run out of wood in the forest. Oh no, what are we gonna do? We're gonna run out of logs. Like, dude. Don't
Well,
worry
I guess
about
she's
it.
saying that you'd have to put it out. But if you put it out from a good flame, then you don't get any like dying fire, icky, smoky times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but my fires
that's
would
good.
always be smoky.
Yeah.
Well, was that your fault or was that just like wet shit?
No, it was. Yeah, well, I had someone in my life once who was very persnickety about fire building, and I always felt like
Not anymore.
I always felt like he would judge my fires because I did not
Light it your fucking self, asshole.
because I used a lighter and I used matches, and he never.
Would he fucking rub 2 sticks together
that
like
is-
a caveman?
He
he did.
drill.
No, he
Oh,
did.
fucking douche.
Anyone who uses a bow drill more than 4 times in their life is cringe. Knowing how to use a bow drill is based, but once you cross 4, pendulum swings hard.
It's like now you're like saying that fucking that we should all be cavemen and we shouldn't wear socks and we shouldn't wear deodorant
Yeah.
and we shouldn't and we should, and if somebody fucking doesn't want to hang out with you, you should like kill him.
And I'll tell you how I know this too. I'm not just making this up. I'm gonna cite a source for you, okay?
Yeah.
So there's a YouTuber we all know because I've showed you to called Primitive
Oh,
Technology.
love primitive technologies. That dude fucks.
Yeah,
Some
he does.
great shit.
And
Some great shit.
one of the ways in which he fucks is this. He has made a bow drill and a pump drill and all kinds of different ways to start a fire because he actually stands starting a fire with sticks, okay?
Yeah.
But he never uses a bow drill anymore. He had a video about bow drills and pump drills but he never uses the bow drill. Why? Because they suck. They're like come apart if you use natural material. So Francie, your friend, was he using a natural material cord?
Yeah, but now that I'm remembering, I think it was not a bow drill, that he would use a hand drill, which is different.
What's a hand drill?
You make like sort of like this base, and you just have one stick that you
rub it together.
And your
really fast
hands move down, and you create like
okay, that's what primitive technology does. Because I was about so it doesn't work anymore.
Really hard. Like it's
it's
super hard. Like if you like, dude, if you're and especially when you're lighting a fire for kids and you're like, oh, hey, everybody hang on, and then you like do that shit for like 45 fucking minutes. Like fuck out of here, dude.
I will say,
we want to hang out.
I had this one really magical day when I was working at an after school program. There was like 3 boys there. There weren't a lot of kids there, and the same person that I'm talking about was like, do you guys want to learn how to build a fire? And they were like, yes. And they were so into it all day. That's like all they wanted to do. And then, I
mean, it's a good thing.
Which I think that if you're passionate about something and you really want to share that with kids, it's going to be like kind of magical if you
it is 100%.
It's one of the best things.
I think about this regularly.
Yeah,
because
being a teacher,
right? Teachers think sometimes.
Yeah, occasionally.
And when they do,
handing out worksheets.
Exactly. And when they do, they occasionally think like, how should I align what I'm teaching to theories of education and theories of neuroscience? But then I just think, okay, if we had like actually Albert Einstein walk into a class of 3rd graders and talk about 3rd grade appropriate physics, those kids would be glued.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Totally.
Because he's him. And they don't even have to know who he is, but they are just like, wow,
he would have been so into it. He would have been so into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have this really, really obviously really complete understanding of what he was talking about. Don't take that for granted. You got to understand what you're talking about. What good is all the like theory of teaching if you have the passion? You could just run it down mid. So maybe like that's more important.
That's definitely more important.
Well, I think it is, but I think it is until you actually don't know how to manage your group because you are like just working on vibes. Because like if all you have is vibes and passion, but you don't know how to like be like lead the group, like you could, I mean, I know from working outside, you can like, it can actually become like a bad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely safety is number one, always. Especially when kids are involved. Safety.
From what I remember about this dude Francie's describing, I'm not sure safety was number one for him all the time.
So it's like you can create a magical moment with the kids, sure.
But
like,
you have to create a magical moment with kids who are fucking safe.
Knowing some stuff about like,
if you hurt a kid, I don't care how much fun everyone else was having.
Yeah, that's not even really what I mean. I just feel like if you're a teacher, don't you have to know a little bit about the pedagogy? Or is it enough to just really like and know about what you're talking about?
Yeah, though there's a hard answer for that. So it depends on what you mean, friends, because what you have to do is begin with the end in mind. So you can't the reason that it gets away from you if you just focus on what you're focusing on, if you're just focusing on vibes, is because you get to the 54-minute mark in your podcast and you run out of things to talk about, but you planned on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Because the vibes are temporary. That's the nature of vibes. They run out. So you gotta think about the vibes are gonna go out on me, then what? And pedagogy can help you there.
Yeah,
theory of teaching can help you. Yeah,
I was never really working with kids who I couldn't, or like I was always working with really young kids. I was not trying to teach them anything. Like,
just how to chill.
They're just playing, especially after COVID. They didn't know how to like interact super well with each other.
Yeah,
so I was like, if we play all day, what if we played all day? Like just in different settings. So I get kind of got around having to ever know what I was talking about. I did have to fake it when I was working with
I don't know. I don't know if that's I see that. I see what you're saying, but another way of saying that is that your standards that you had to cover had to do with like topics of how to play.
Yeah.
It's very common where you get kids who don't know how to play because they've been at home their whole lives. Maybe their only child, or maybe their sibling is a fair age gap, you know?
Yeah.
And so they can't really play with them. They're the older sibling, and they go to the playground. They stand around like Sims. They just don't do anything.
Ooh.
And so what you have to do is teacher, principal, go out there and play with them. Because you have to say, like, we go down the slide, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, go down on the slides, dude.
So playing is absolutely something that has to be learned. It's just something that most of us learn.
I was
Yeah.
I worked at a school
real skill.
recently for like 2 months. Those kids certainly knew how to play, but they weren't allowed to. Like they
Whoa.
were 3 to 5, and
Yeah.
we didn't have free play every day. We had free play like once
Yeah.
a week. And
Fuck that.
This is
we just had
so
to,
you
like,
you didn't have free play every day after school. They had recess
yeah.
during the school day. Okay.
But like, if I ran that, we would just be like playing the whole time and like eating snack. I don't know.
Making littles do academic work after school is wild.
Just making them sit
Yeah.
still. I was like, you're
Yeah,
no.
like we have to like
That's fucked.
like
I don't like that.
that's why
I
we
don't
can't
fucks with
manage our
that.
classroom, is because like we're treating 4-year-olds like they're like 10.
And I worked after school with a bunch of 10-year-olds who couldn't do it either.
Mm-hmm.
And I because I'm me, I raised a stink about it. And the interesting thing was the building supervisor, the supervisor of the after school program, listened to the stuff that I was saying, and she just said nothing in rebuttal because she agreed with me, but she wasn't allowed to tell me that I didn't have to try to get these kids to do academic work. And so she just didn't say anything. And I worked there for a little while longer, and then I stopped because they would get out of school. Some of them could do homework during that time. Some of them could not.
I couldn't.
I never did homework until I literally got to college, and I was like,
Damn.
why am I failing? Why is
I did
this
homework
so hard?
it's so
Yeah.
much homework. My whole life, I did so much homework.
No, yeah, I just didn't do it. Well, I went to a very easy high school, so
So they would would they give you homework and you just wouldn't do it?
not really. They didn't really give it, and when they did, I would either cheat or statute of limitations. I can't get in trouble. I would either cheat
totally.
or just fucking not do it, and I just got by.
Cheating is not a crime, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, my 4 high school principals that I had just like fined
You had
me.
4 principals?
Consecutively.
Yeah, we had one every
What,
year.
like one a year? Oh my god.
They all moved to like
That's how you
the
know you go into a
slightly-
fucking
the slightly richer, not even richer, just like they get paid $2 more.
And they don't have to go to the school we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I forgot that we had so many principals. And I'll tell you something else. I think we also switched principals in middle school.
No, I had the same principal in middle school, and I
I had 2 principals in middle school.
highly disliked that woman.
But she was phenomenally bad, that
principal?
principal of the middle school. Yeah, no, she was next level bad.
She had a demon living in her brain.
Yes, she did. She actively hated children and adults.
Yes. And
So she
herself.
became a principal of a middle school.
Yeah, no, that's what we call the glass elevator for people with that level of misanthropy.
misanthropy.
That's fucked.
Is that just hating people?
Did I say
Yeah,
it
it's
wrong,
like-
friends?
Misanthropy? Misanthropy?
That's a good word. Word of the day. Oh, I had a great word of the day the other day. I forget it.
Oh,
You're kidding me.
come on. Come on. You can't hit me with that.
That's hilarious.
Bullshit.
Really good.
I love that.
Damn it.
That
now
would
I'm going to be worried about this all day. That's all I'm going to be thinking
I've never
about.
heard it before, and now I'll
Did it
never
start with
hear
a
it
vowel?
again. No,
Started with a consonant.
I think
How many syllables do you think it was?
like more than 3.
More than 3.
But like,
Damn,
I
that
had
is a good
never
word of the
heard
day.
this word before, so it was
Uh-huh.
nice. And now you guys don't get to hear it.
Damn. You
Sick.
fucking
That's
tease.
so funny,
God,
Fritz.
I hate you. You torture me.
We should have a word of the week and never tell what it is.
Yeah. I got a word of the day, and you're never gonna fucking know what it is. You dumbass.
I got a
bitch.
word of the
Fuck
day.
you.
So,
The word of the day is asshole.
yeah, that's
Yeah. The word of the day is tease. If we were not remote and if we were sitting down, I would be sitting down. I would be stupider because I'm stupider when I'm sitting down. So if I didn't want to be stupid, it would be you two sitting down and me
just walking
in
around.
circles in the background like a crazy person.
Well,
Yeah.
that'd be so fun.
That would be really funny. We'll have like me and Francie are on camera A, just sitting down, shitting around, and you're on camera B, just like
You have a
running
GoPro.
around with like.
They
with
make
like a
those
clip-on
things
mic.
that motion track you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I need.
Not okay.
That should be illegal.
What those little cameras that follow? You have to turn them on, France. They're not sentient.
Can we talk about
AI? I'm so down.
Okay. I don't like AI.
No,
I have
Yeah, me neither.
irrational.
it's not
like,
irrational.
I know that. No. I know that it's rational to dislike AI. The way it is for me
Yeah, it's a little bit irrational.
is irrational because it's a fear. Like I fear AI. Like it's gonna do something to me.
I don't like
Because of
fear
those
it. I just hate it.
I fear it.
Yep.
Like I fear it and I hate it. I think I fear it more than I
I feel
hate
like
it.
most things, most things you fear, you probably hate too.
But
Yeah.
it's because of those fucking AI videos
Yeah,
that will like pop up on your Instagram and be like creepy as fuck.
yeah.
Yep.
Where it's
like,
like
unnatural.
a teddy bear pouring a glass of tea, and it's just like fuck you. No.
No, like there's this one video that like is like these. I swear to God, this is gonna sound crazy, but it was the scariest thing. Like it makes me scared to open my phone because of this video. It was a tray of like I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like my whole body's reacting just thinking about it. But it's this video
tell
of a
us about
tray
it.
of cinnamon rolls turning into puppies.
Oh,
Editing
disgusting.
Eli is going to attempt to find this.
And
disgusting.
no, please, no, Eli. I don't want to see. I don't want it near.
So
not
if you're
the video.
watching this and you're Francie, skip to this time zone.
I have a visceral reaction. Like
No,
my whole
I
body's
know
sweating.
I know exactly the type of shit you're talking about. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that specific video, but AI does the shit where things turn into other things in a way that is
Yup.
like disgusting.
It's
the
awful.
like AI morphs are fucked. They're
They are
fucked.
Up.
They're
But like,
fucked.
I do have,
Straight fucked.
I feel like okay.
The AI morphs get the fuck out of here. I hate that
Oh my
shit.
God, Dan, you
How
just
do
did
we
the
feel
Dan
about-
thing where you repeat one thing over and over again
Yeah,
until it gets
yeah.
funny. So good.
How do you feel about the idea of AI gaining consciousness?
Oh, I don't like that. I mean that's the singularity, right?
But like, okay, I'm really
That's the end of man.
big into Star Wars,
Yeah.
Yep.
and like Star Wars created
Full of AI.
a world where artificial intelligence was the same as humanity, basically. Even though the droids weren't treated the same, they were treated like slaves. They had
Yep.
everything that humans had. Okay, first of all, question A: is AI going to become sentient?
Okay. Question B?
B:
If it's designed that way.
if it becomes sentient, isn't that kind of better?
Ah.
Whoa.
So
You've seen Terminator. It's not better.
yeah. So okay. I can like go teacher mode and ask you all questions, or I could just run it down mid, try to answer this. What do you think?
Yeah, hit me with that.
Okay. So yes, absolutely, it's going to become sentient. In fact, I think there's a fair shot that we hit AGI this year, artificial general intelligence.
Ooh, that's it. That's intelligence that can program itself.
I think there's a fair chance we hit that this year. It might also not happen. Very hard to predict this kind of thing, but the pace has been quite rapid. And I see no reason why computing power should stand in the way. There's no reason why you have to achieve computing parity with the human brain. And I think even there are like data center groups that do achieve parity with the human brain in terms of computing power. The question is sentience better? Absolutely. Okay. The whole entire reason why the AI debate is happening right now is because it's not sentient. Because now I am going to ask you two a question. What is sentience? What is that?
The ability to say no.
I mean,
Beautiful definition. What do you think, Fritz?
Like you're not going to put your toast in the toaster and it's going to say, no, I'm not going to turn that in. I'm not going to turn that bread into toast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So what
It's gonna do it.
self-determination.
What you say, Fritz?
Like self-determination. You
What is
can
that?
Make your own decisions, I guess. Because
Yeah.
like human beings have have consciousness. I don't know how a machine would gain consciousness.
Yes. So a machine can make its own decisions already. What is take it like one level deeper? Where do those decisions come from?
Ooh, if they
Sentience
can make
to me
them.
Sentience is like we have crossed the line between you are a machine versus you are something that has human rights. Like I consider you
Yeah.
a person and you need to be protected.
If we
by,
got
like, the
if we got to
laws.
give human rights to machines while human beings are still fucking starving to death, that's fucked. I hate
Well,
it.
see, that's the part of it that is so. That's like the crux of it to me, because AI is like so harmful and destructive to the world.
Yeah, we don't give rights to human beings.
No, we don't
very
give
much.
human rights to humans. Only like the
No, we
convenient
don't.
ones.
But we have a sense of human rights. We have a sense of what beings in the world I consider a human and what ones a person, I'll say, and what ones I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like non-human animals. We have a sense of that.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
talking
Like
about
we can
government
kill we can
recognition.
kill a chicken and eat it and I'll feel like nothing.
Yes.
Pretty much
Right.
nothing. Unless that chicken was like fucked.
Unless you think about it, Dan.
Yeah, unless I
right?
really think
Thinking
about
about it is what makes it feel bad.
If I'm eating dinner and they tell me that's a person, I'm going to get so
Yep.
pissed.
So Dan, when you think about the chicken that you're eating, what you're doing, and again, I would normally be asking questions because I don't really expect this to be retained if I just talk at you,
Yeah.
but I'll just talk at you since that's what you asked for. If you think about that chicken while you're eating it, what's really happening is that you are becoming increasingly aware of two things. Aware of the chicken itself, like the existence of the chicken, what it is, and aware of your own feelings of the chicken. Your feelings exist somewhere in your mind. The chicken exists somewhere on planet Earth, but you're becoming sort of aware of your feelings about it, and you're becoming aware of the chicken itself. So there's a you that is becoming aware. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So awareness is the quality that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now there's another question, which is, I guess for both of you, but mostly probably for Dan, which is, why is AI art bad?
Because most notably because a human should have made that and been paid to do it.
Yes, because a human should have made it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, if there was a race of aliens living with us on Earth publicly, we all knew about them, would you have a problem with them making art?
Oh God, no, that's fine.
Right.
That's
so
the thing. That's what's.
so
gonna
it's
be
not that it's a
happening.
human that needs to make it, Dan.
It's life.
What needs to make the
Sentience.
art?
A person.
Yes. Exactly. That's why sentient AI is better.
A being with experience, with a lived experience.
So the question
Once
is,
this thing has awareness, it's like we are forced, because of how our brains work, to think this thing needs some consideration in my world. And now
Yes.
we live in a blissful state of this thing doesn't need consideration like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like once it crosses that line, it's
somebody
like-
said, once it goes squish when you step on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because like going back to Star Wars, like I think Star Wars accidentally created this like insane
Yes.
world where droids
Yes.
can basically feel pain, can feel emotions, can like
Yep.
can feel loyalty, friendship, love, but they're treated like slaves.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
So I would
pretty
not
like
say,
fuck.
but they're treated like slaves, Francie. I would say, so they're treated like slaves.
Well,
Yeah.
Because
Disney-
when you create a sentient thing, you will treat it like a slave.
Star Wars like developed a sense of knowledge of that way like into the Disney era.
Oh yeah.
They were not thinking about that until like the first time that they really like mentioned that was in like the Kenobi show when they.
So
really
first of all, they
talked
were
about, like-
absolutely thinking of that when they aired episode 4 in theaters.
Oh, okay.
There's an interview This is good, actually. This supports your point. There's an interview with George Lucas talking about sentient MacGuffins, which is what the droids started out as. But when you make your MacGuffins sentient, you are able to tell a completely different story, the story of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So is sentient AI going to hurt people? Yes. Because when you give something sentience,
yeah, it's true.
It will hurt
people all the time.
Yep.
Like motherfuckers.
But will it end humanity? Probably not, because safeguards. But like AI's already killed people. Like Cybertrucks have killed people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is something I think about a lot because of my visceral reaction to the AI shit and my love of Star Wars. But obviously, it's not something that I can really conceptualize or want to think too hard about.
Oh
Because
yeah,
honestly, the world, the future right now is a completely fuzzy line. Like I don't have a sense of I'm talking in personal relationships, in work, and in geopolitics. It's a completely fuzzy line that I can't make out anymore. So like I still always like having the conversations, but it's so
what was
hard
your
to
record with
conceptualize.
predicting the future before, France?
Well, I'm not saying that I could
What's your
predict the
batting average?
future, but I think growing up, you things feel more certain, and then slowly more and more things happen, and
They get muddier.
the patterns get broken. And right now, I think the reason why everyone I have interacted with for the past 2 weeks has been off and dissociated and upset, and is because like we're sitting on the edge of a precipice and we don't know if the wind is going to change. Like on the top of that mountain in New Mexico, Eli was standing right at the edge. I'll never forget this. I was literally getting blown down because the wind was so crazy. Like I was just this little kid on top of this.
Yeah, she was
mountain.
blown around like a leaf, like a goddamn leaf.
And Eli was, he's like 3 years older than me, but he was standing right at the edge. And like, if the wind had changed, like,
he was ready.
Been so fearless, like with I don't know, not fearless, I guess, but like seeming so with like climbing and high places, which is crazy because you don't like bridges above water. That's like the one thing.
Eli's like the one person I know who's just like straight up not afraid of heights.
Unless
it's true.
Above water. Well, I guess I've been thinking about that moment a lot because I feel like where we are collectively right now is just like standing on the on the edge of a cliff, and like the ground under us is stable, but we have no idea when the wind's going to change for us.
Yeah, I think the other shoe dropped.
Yeah,
I think
like,
the Obama administration was the shoe was in the air, and the other shoe dropped.
I was talking to my friend about like why the city feels so crazy lately. Like in the past 2 weeks, there's been more people just acting like, yelling at each other, shouting, like road rage, all this shit. And I'm like, why? What is this feeling of collective like craziness? And she was like, we're not able to ignore what's going on anymore. So it's going to come out in some way. Like for some people that's like acting
going to be
crazy.
More agitated.
Like some people it's like
or
dissociating
testy.
Or whatever, or just like coping.
Yeah.
But I think unless you're like so down bad that you can't pick your head up, or you're living in a state of like complete cognitive dissonance, like that energy is going to come out somehow. Like,
and by down bad, you don't mean down bad.
I mean, I guess what I mean is like so deep into like someone who works like 12 hours every day and just sleeps just like
Fuck.
I think that level of like just living to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It sounds like people don't feel. There's a lot of the zeitgeist. I feel like is people don't feel placed, right? So you're placed in a situation where this is my thing to do to like help the world right now, and I've been placed, and so now I just like work really hard at that because I've been placed, and this is my spot to be in, and this is my job now is to do this. And people are like, I'm not placed. I don't think this is worth it at all, actually. And then figuring out a way from where you are to where that might be is like too much. And I feel like that might be the root of the depersonalization.
Well, it's funny because I have experienced like pretty life, I don't know, because debilitating is not the right word, but a lot of dissociation for the past like 5 years, maybe a little more, like where I get lost in it for like days, but it's derealization. It's an idea that the world is not real. But recently I've been experiencing depersonalization. In this moment now, I've started to feel this sense of, I don't know what or who I am anymore, which is like, I don't know, just like a new level of like fuckery. And it's very hard to ground and like regulate.
Yeah.
Although I do think it's important.
Yeah. The first thing I thought when you said like I used to be able to predict the world and now I can't is that's actually a important piece of spiritual growth that you've had that I hope for lots of other people, including like the Democratic Party. Because I think what actually happened is you realized that you couldn't predict what was going to happen in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you even said, I'm not sure what my batting average was before.
Yeah.
So I think that's like just growth, just like learning.
I think, I mean, also when you're growing up and you have more stable ground under you, like when you just have a better solid foundation, it's easier to think that like the world is going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then when you grow up and maybe some stuff happens and the carpet gets ripped out from under you and the ground caves in, it's like, wait, I don't know anything for certain anymore at all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a part of growing up, or maybe that's like particular to like my experience, but I'm watching that happen to some of my friends right now. Which is kind of crazy, but it's
Sorry to hear that.
Well, it's okay, because in a way it's kind of like, oh, I can be here for you in a way that maybe I needed someone to be there for me.
Fritz, you want to know about shellfish?
Yeah. Shellfish don't have any bones.
Correct.
They have their protection method is they make it on the outside of them.
I have an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Oysters are not sentient.
Whoa. So we can have them do slave labor.
And we do.
Well, vegans eat oysters.
Do
and
they?
feel okay about it. Well, some.
Wow.
It's funny that you say that, Dan. I'm pretty sure there are operations in like Scotland, I think, where they use oysters to like clean estuary water.
I mean, that's great. We should do that.
Yeah,
we should
I
have.
love that.
We should train
Slave
them to
labor.
clean rich people's houses.
Oh my God. One time I was playing with this kid at the after school program I was talking about, the one in Maine, and he like low-key invented this. I think that he fixed ocean pollution.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
How'd he do it? Lay it on us.
Well, like, I know this is gonna sound super simple, but like we were doing like creating a watershed in the sandbox, but they were just getting really into it and like building like a community, and I was like, okay, cool. So the mountain led to the sea, but all the leaves were getting caught. All the leaves were going too. And he was like, okay, I'm going to create a mechanism. And he put like a little plastic rake by like the mouth of where the river ran to the sea. And it like caught all of the debris from going into the ocean.
Nice.
And I just thought that his name was, well, I can't say his name. I won't say his name, but he was so smart. I'm like, you're going to really do some shit.
That's awesome. If only we only lived on riverbanks and not the coast itself, then that would work perfectly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Or if corporations weren't paid to just throw it in the ocean.
Also, I think it's quite hard to filter out. The way microplastics work is that the plastic is vulnerable to ultraviolet light, and when the ultraviolet light hits it, the plastic like becomes really brittle and kind of turns into a powder. And so the more it's left out in the sun, the more it breaks down until it's like just like microscopic teeny tiny pieces. Very, very, very hard to filter that out. I don't know if you could filter. You might have to like reverse osmosis to get that out. Like
Reverse
distill it or something
osmosis.
like that. Yeah. That's a really cool process where you have essentially like a filter, but it's like a filter with molecule sized holes, and you so you have this is not quite how it works, but it's the same idea. So imagine this filter is like circular in front of you. It's like 2 feet in diameter, and then there's like a catch bin on your side of the filter, and then there's a catch bin on the other side of the filter. So 2 catch bins, okay? Mm-hmm. And what you do is you take a fire hose and you blast it at the filter. A little bit's going to get through, and that will have been filtered molecularly. And the vast majority is going to fall into the bucket closer to you. That's reverse osmosis. You use pressure to try to force it through, but there's a tremendous amount of wastage.
I heard the other day that someone was trying to do a study on microplastics, but they couldn't find the control group.
Yep.
Which sounds
of
like
course.
It's a joke. That sounds like a joke setup, but it's not. It's just real.
Right. You can't even go to like secluded island communities because
We've all got
it's
them.
an island.
There's this there's the like iconic study of how climate change affects the world, like so there's this they studied like a very remote place in Hawaii and studied how like the effects of climate change were affecting like this like very not polluted, like very secluded area, like to show that like climate change affects the whole world so like not evenly, but it affects everywhere, even if the polluting is happening like in specific places.
Everything's connected.
Everything is connected.
So how's global warming going to affect the shellfish? How are they going to what are they going to do?
Well, it depends on which one you're talking about, but there's this really interesting. There's this really I don't think it's crab shellfish. It's not
crab
a bivalve.
Not shellfish.
They're a
crab is a member of Mollusca, but it's not a bivalve. So it depends on what you mean.
It's got a shell.
It's true. So does a turtle.
Yeah, but they're not fish.
Fair. Neither is a crab.
Fuck.
Anyway, so
damn it.
Crabs
I'll take my leave.
Are not gonna that's bad things, because generally speaking what happens, so you have global warming, right? That's going to change the balance of algae in the ocean, and algae change the amount of oxygen in the ocean. They increase it dramatically, and oxygen is like one of those things that has to stay in balance. So yeah, it's not great. But there's this really interesting thing with the shellfish that are like, clams. Okay. There are these teeny tiny little shellfish called foraminiferans, and they create calcium carbonate shells around them. And then they die and they sink to the bottom of the ocean and they get turned into limestone. That's where limestone comes from. And
limestone was alive?
Limestone was alive. All limestone was alive. Yeah.
Is that everything comes back to rocks?
What were you saying, Franz?
Were rocks alive?
I want to hear what Franz was saying desperately.
The conspiracy of talking to you is that everything comes back to rocks.
Eli loves rocks, dude. They're one of his things.
And Dan almost picked glass, or was it Dan who almost picked glass? Or
I did almost pick glass. No, I picked wood though.
Yeah. So, okay. So what happens is this limestone is calcium carbonate. So it's a lot of carbon, lots of carbon. And the oceans move in these two conveyor belts called seafloor spreading, where they're created at the mid-ocean ridge when volcanoes make new basaltic type lava. Sorry, I had to remember something there. And they move towards, and when they get to, like, for example, where Dan lives, but a little bit out to sea, they get subducted. They get drawn back into the mantle, and they end up feeding volcanoes. And when the limestone comes out of the volcanoes, the carbon goes back into the atmosphere. And so
it's all connected.
Yes, and if there's more carbon in the atmosphere, I think this takes 500 million years for the average carbon atom. But so if there's more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, you will get more foraminiferans. And so then it'll take it out. It's this very, very slow. It's these little shelled things that make their shells.
Okay.
Yeah. There will be a bloom of these creatures.
You'll get more limestone.
Well, you'll get more limestone. You'll get less carbon in the atmosphere. It's this very slow self-balancing system.
Yeah.
It's called the long-term carbon cycle.
That is a long-term cycle.
It's a long-term cycle.
That's a long-term cycle. That's one of the longest term cycles you can have.
Yep.
Can I make a note?
Yeah.
I do not feel good. I just have to say,
Okay.
I'm really not feeling so good.
I feel like it might be time to stop so that Francie can stop.
I just I'm having trouble focusing. My head hurts.
That's okay.
So bad.
That's okay. I don't want you to be I want you to be. I'm okay with some pain.
It was.
There
good.
is a
I just
limit.
don't know why it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because you're talking on the phone. You have not shown that you're feeling bad.
No, you sound great.
You sounded great this whole time.
Thanks.
You're a professional.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of Was This Helpful? Let us know in the comments whether or not it was helpful. You can get this podcast, I think, anywhere you get your podcast. Definitely Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Nice.
We have been
The big three.
been Dan Pasto.
Yeah.
Say bye, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Say bye. Francie Davies.
Hi. Bye.
And I'm Eli Davies, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
All right. I'm going to stop recording now.